And let me just adjust my screen here, and I'll say hello to folks. I forgot to pop out the chat so I can look at all my different screens that I've got going here, so I can see y'all. Hey to everyone, happy Sunday. We're going to be playing the blues all day today. Hello Matt, hello Embry, hello Tall Paul. Hey Dale, Bob P, Joe, good to see you. And Susan Daniels, hello from Wales. My goodness. Dewey Barry, good morning. Art, good to see you, Art. Haven't seen you on in a while. Andrew, Joyce, hello from London. All right, Nemo Unknown, hello. All right, people from all different time zones. So, yeah, so we're going to be talking a lot about the blues today and a lot about guitars. Because I have a guitar giveaway that I'm doing. You probably noticed this is not a Telly that I've played before this week. Found it at a local shop, and I could not resist, so I did pick it up. I got a good deal on it. This is a special run of a player Telecaster, so it's a Fender. I always get a lot of people razz me for not using Fender, and it's because it's hard for me to find a neck that I like. But I like the neck on this, roasted maple neck. It's not a bone nut. It's like, they call it new bone, but it's basically just a Graph-Tech sort of nut. You know, hard, super hard plastic. That's it for the special stuff. I guess, you know, it's a normal sort of player series bridge. It's a modern bridge, except that it's got custom shop pickups. These are no caster pickups, so it sounds nice and vintage, and I like it. I like it. So let me know what you think. I'm going to play a little bit, and then we'll talk blues. I do want to mention that this guitar giveaway is going to be happening in conjunction with a membership special that's coming up at the sometime later in the month. So there will be a guitar giveaway. Members are all members are eligible. So if you join now, you'll be eligible, and if you're already a member, you will be eligible. And it's a guitar that I have been playing for years. So it'll be one of the guitars that I'll show you today. I haven't decided yet, but you can help me pick. And yeah, these are all guitars that I played, modified to my liking, and I love them, set them up to my liking. I love these guitars, so hope you will like them too. This is not one of the giveaway guitars, just so you know. All right, let's play a little blues, and then we'll see how this sounds. I'll try and get the mix right. I think it may be a little bit loud on the backing track. We'll find out really soon. I'm going to cut my mic too, so remind me if yeah, it's a little loud. All right, I'm going to cut my mic now. I didn't cut my mic. Hold on. enough, I think. It gives you an idea of, oh. All right, that's enough, I think. It gives you an idea of the sound of this guitar and different stuff I had without a pedal and with. I didn't play too much clean stuff, but, you know. All right, so there you go. And all right, what kind of strings am I using? So let me take a look at some of the comments. Hey, Keen, good to see you. Art, good to see you on. A lot of people on. Awfully funky. Okay, I'll skip that comment. Rock on. All right. Yeah, it's kind of it's just a funky sort of thing there, right? It's kind of like a free ride, but not really, but it's similar. Yeah, the descending stuff is really fun, right? You know, it's just a descending run over an A mixolydian scale, which is like an A major with a flatted seventh, or it's, you know, it's kind of like a D major scale. Those are all the same thing, but it's basically, you know, that's what it is. So you're just playing double stops based on that, and any double stop starting with like A, and basically I'm just playing A chords and G chords and D chords going down and up the neck. So it's, you know, an A, D, sorry, A, G, A. I could play a D7 there if I wanted to, but I usually don't. There's a G, D, there's an A7. So I'm not playing the middle part. I'm not playing that note, but it's an A7 without that note. There's a G7 without that middle note. And there's a D. I usually play that. If you don't like that, you could play the bottom and the top of the G and the A. It sounds a little more smoke on the water-ish, right? So you could play that. You could play. Anyway, it doesn't sound as country edgy, but anyway, it is what it is. All right, yeah, it was kind of cool. So I'm digging the sounds here. Hey, Chewy. Good to see you on. We're going to be talking about the blues for just a little bit. And, you know, one of the things about the blues is that it is the underpinning for so much about Americana, I guess I would call it, right? What's called Americana now, which is catch-all for like country blues, country rock, and all of that stuff. And, you know, anything modern. Speaking of that, I saw Marcus King last night at the Landmark Theater. Oh my God, I've never been to the Landmark Theater in Syracuse. It is so opulent. I just couldn't believe what I was looking at. It was a great show, super energy. And Marcus played a telly, not only a telly, he played his famous, you know, red 335. He played that, but he played a telly, played a Strat a little bit. They had another guitarist who was just absolutely killer, who did all the slide work, but it was super loud. I'll just say that. The sound guy would have been good to turn it down. That way I would have heard things a little bit more. It's not all about me, but I think, you know, other people were like that. But you know, if you've heard his new album, it's very R&B. It's not blues. It's not rock. It's very R&B. So, you know, he's got a lot of, you know, a lot of that stuff. Does a lot of those sorts of moves. But it was great stuff, and singing is so good. It was just a great show. Anyway, what I was thinking was, it's not blues, but he did so much blues yesterday. He ended, by the way, with a Black Sabbath song, which was everybody was into. It was kind of funny. That was cool. That was cool. So anyway, I don't know if you know Marcus King. If you don't, definitely Google Marcus King after this and see what you got. But the point of all this is that the blues is everywhere. So it's good to learn. So we'll start out with something super, super, super simple. Super simple. And it's It's how to navigate the blues. So everybody knows, or most people know, that the blues is a 1-4-5. What the heck does that mean? Well, it just means that if we were playing, let's say we're playing in G major. I'll clean this up a little bit. There we go. I'm doing it old school. I'm just turning down my volume to clean it up, right? Which you can do pretty well with single coils. All right, so if we're playing blues in G, it's a 1-4-5. So the typical is a 1-4-5, and we've heard stuff like that. Right? So that's a standard blues, or that's actually a quick change blues. So there's 3 chords that are involved. The 1 chord, which is the main chord that you're playing when you start, and that happened to be a G, right? The 4 chord, which is the middle chord that you transition to, which happened to be a C. And then the 5 chord, which happens to be a D, which is the end chord or the turnaround chord, like on, you know. So what's a 1-4-5? When people say 1-4-5, what does that mean? Well, it comes from the root. Whatever that first chord is, that we consider to be the root, and it's the major scale from that root. So if we play the G major scale, and you don't need to know it, but you've heard it before. That's what it sounds like, right? And now I'm going to count those. If we would number those notes, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7, and then on 8 we're back to 1, right? That's just this, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. So 1-4-5 would mean a 1, the G, a 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice that's a C, 4, and then a 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a D, okay? So that's where that comes from, 1-4-5. It's that simple. Somebody was asking me this the other day. You keep using 1 and 3 and numbers, and what does that mean? Well, that's what it means. It comes from the major scale. Alrighty, so that's that, 1-4-5. And you can play that. I'm going to show you 3 simple ways you can play a 1-4-5. The first is to play your 1 chord in the E shape like this, right? That would be the 1 chord. And then you simply slide up using this string as the guideline, the thickest string, right, the E string. You move up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frets, and that gives you the 4. Then you slide back to play the 1 again. Going to the 4 again. 5 frets up, right? Back to that 1. Here we go to the 5 chord now. Now where is that? We go to the 4 chord. It's 2 notes, or 2 frets, I'm sorry, not 2 notes, 2 frets above, toward the bridge above that 4 chord. So that's the first way to play it, and it's all on 1 string, right? It's easy to navigate. And you know, sometimes you want that sound. Sometimes you want that sound of sliding up, and that's a cool way of doing it. But sometimes that's inefficient, right? You're moving all over the place, and it's not efficient to do that. If you have a real fast song, you might want to be more efficient. So instead, you might want to find notes that are close by. So we already did this, right? So here's the G. And then to play a C, we do a C based on this root note right here. So here would be a C. And then to do a D, or the 5 chord, that would be the 4 chord. To do the 5 chord, again, it's just 2 frets up on the same string from that 4 chord. So in this case, there's our D, right? D7. Now we could have played it like this too. If know that one, that's fine. Either one's good. So that's our 1, 4, 5 right there. Right, really efficient. Okay, one last one. Well, what if I want to put the root note, the first chord, with the root on the 5th string? So that requires us, doesn't inquire, requires us to find a G on the A string. Okay, so if we do that, we can kind of match the tones. You hear that's a tone that's the same as that. And so, or it's an octave up. So we can make a chord based on this one, right? So it could be this one. That's a favorite chord of mine, the John Fogerty. Right, John Fogerty G, or 7th chord. But we could just play this one if you're comfortable with that. It doesn't matter. Either one is good. All right, so where do we go for the next one? Well, this time we're going to go down a string to find our 4 chord. And so we'll drop down a string, move down 2 frets, and there's our C. There's our 4 chord. So we'd go from this. And then our 5 chord is right there again, 2 frets up from the 4 chord. So to me, it's helpful to know this stuff, because that way, if you're playing in the key where the root on the 5th fret is comfortable, let's say we're playing in C, you can play a C blues, you can play a C blues right here. You can play it there, or you can play it here. You're not stuck with having to go. What if you're playing E blues? Well, oh my God, I got to play. That'd be hard, right? So, thank you so much, Itzik. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. By the way, just to let you all know, I said there's a membership drive coming at the end of this month. But today, if you want to become a member, and remember, you'll be eligible for the guitar giveaway if you're a member, 15% off today. So 15% off today. There's a link in the description of the video. And also, if you want to buy any of my courses, it's 15% off today. So I put a link to 3 other courses. No, 3 others. 2 Masterclasses, Visualize the Fretboard and Rock Blues Soloing Essentials. But then also Practical Triads. So I know a number of you have bought Practical Triads. Hopefully you're enjoying that. But if you want to become a member and get it all, and the guitar giveaway shot, there's a membership, 15% off today, link in the description. But anyway, thank you, Itzik. Appreciate it. If you just want to support by just giving me a little tip for playing on these Sundays and doing these lessons, that's thank you, Chris. Thank you so much. That is very much appreciated. Thank you, BJ. Wow, this is really nice. It's really nice. It's really nice to get a little tip for doing this stuff on Sundays. All right, so that's that. So let's stop and let's take a break for some more blues. I'll play a little bit, and then we'll discuss a little bit more blues. I'll play a little bit. I'm getting a little bit heated, so don't worry, this is the only article of clothing that's coming off. All right? And we'll play one of the guitars that I'm thinking about giving away, and you can let me know what you think. So here is the first one that I'm thinking about giving away in this. So let me take you through it, just so that you know. This is the one that's most different from the others. So you can see this is a sparkly one. It's very sparkly. This is a Harley Benton Fusion, but it's not a weird Fusion. It's kind of like a Suhr knockoff. Humbucking pickups here, 3-position switch, but it's got a coil split. So those are sort of the basics. The nice things about this are, and it's got the back is beautiful on this thing. I love the back on this. This is a bit recessed, so it's a little bit easier to reach the upper bout. So what are some of the special things about this one? Well, this one has, these are on-the-go 5 pickups. Minor thing, but it really makes a difference. It has the rotary knob down here to adjust the truss rod, so very easy to adjust that. Roasted maple neck, and it's a good roast. It's a dark roast. It's a dark roast, so it's a nice neck guitar. Stainless steel frets, and what else? It's not a bone nut. What do you call it? A Graphtec nut. It's a Graphtec nut, and locking tuners. And the tuners are excellent on this thing. This is a totally, oh, and it's a Wilkinson tremolo too. This trem for a 2-point trem, this thing stays in tune really well. So anyway, that's guitar number 1 that I'm thinking about doing for the giveaway. And remember, if you thank you, Dave, thank you. And remember, if you are a member, you'll get a chance to win the guitar. Don't forward the address. I've already got it. If you're already a member, and I think Ember, you are a member, so I've got your email address when I do the giveaway. So don't do that. But right now, it's just if you become a member. In about a week, we're going to start a membership drive, and you'll have ample chance to sign up. But there you go. Don't send me emails. All right. All right. And I just want to say thank you so much for the super chats, folks. Oh, Trinity, thank you so much. Thank you so much. It means a lot to me. Okay, so let's play this a little bit, and we'll see. Now, this is going to drive the amp a little bit more because these are humbuckers as opposed to others. So let's just kind of give a little detour or a little bit on the sound. This is bridge pick or neck pickup. I'm going to split the coils. You can see it's having, you have to really turn this volume knob down a little bit to clean it. Take off the compression. All right, that's that sort of sound clean. Let's put a little dirt on it again. So this is again out of the neck pickup. And then we'll just play bridge pickup a little bit. So it's kind of a nice sound. All right. Yeah, the Wilkinson bridge, I was just reading Keenan Wilkinson. The Wilkinson trem on this really is fantastic. All right. All right. Teachable is being a pain. Oh, no. Well, let me check the link for you. I will check the link. Make sure it's right. I get people saying that, but then if maybe just copy it and paste it into your browser and see if that works. But let me check it. Let me check it to make sure it works. And then we'll play a little bit more. I haven't played much. So we'll get back to playing the blues. Okay, HTTP, Rockstar, this should work. Yeah, I'm getting the right thing, man. Roland, email me if you can. I'll put my email in the. It's working for me, so email me if you still are having trouble. But I'll put my my email address right in the chat, and I'll help you out. Okay? It looks like the link does work, but I'll help you. I'll help you out if you email me. Okay, appreciate it. Okay, let's play a little bit here. Let us play. All right, what am I going to play? That was the question. Okay, yeah, well, let's play something. Let's play this. Come on. There we go. I got to make sure that the volume's right. Okay, the hardest part about this one is it's in B flat. So, but this one will let me scream a little bit, I think, so we'll play it. It's kind of like a call in San Francisco, a little bit of Tommy Castro. That's this guy. That's this guy. So I'm going to show you how it really sounds by turning off the mic, and I'll try to remember to turn it back on, okay? So we'll play that same song, and I'll try and remember that there's a break in that song. I forgot about that. There's like a sound break. All right, so I'm turning off the mic. I'll remember to turn it back on. We'll see how it sounds. All right. All right, so that's how this fella sounds. So that's the first guitar, all right? Let's take a look at the second guitar, and then we'll talk a little blues. Let me put this one down. So the second one, oh, for gosh sakes. All right. So the second one is kind of a basic telly. It's a basic sort of Telecaster. I should say that the neck on that one, on the last one, the neck on that one was kind of like standard modern C, maybe a little bit chunkier than a modern C, but it's a comfortable, very comfortable neck, I think. Okay, this one is a Harley Benton Telly knockoff, and it is also has a roasted maple neck. Beautiful, also a kind of a dark roast on this one. Has a roasted maple neck, but it has a Pau-Ferro fretboard. So the fretboard is Pau-Ferro, which is just a type of rosewood, by the way, guys. It's close to Brazilian rosewood. It's a little bit lighter in color, but the characteristics are very similar to that. The fretwork, I've done a lot to really, when I got it, it had a lot of sharp fret ends, but I've totally cleaned that up. I've got the setup where I like it. What else was modified with this? This is a pretty standard guitar. It has Kluson style tuners, so old style tuners, which I prefer in terms of changing strings, but they're the old style. This is also double bound, which is kind of classy. I like that. And it's got a little tiny bit of a sparkle, which is hard to see, but it's a nice one. I like the color. This one has changed electronics, so the electronics I put in alpha pots. There's a Wilkinson bridge, and it's a compensated bridge with brass saddles, so it intonates really well. Even though it's a classic sort of Telly bridge, it intonates really well. This is a stock pickup. I changed a couple of pickups, and I love this pickup. This is a stock pickup. This is a stacked humbucker, but as you'll see in a second, it's noiseless, and as you'll see, it's like super bright. So I thought it was going to be darker, but it wasn't. Anyway, so that's what this is. So I've modified it a little bit, and I like it. It's got a D style neck. It's rather thin neck. So if you like that sort of thin neck, that's good. And it's got the classic Telly sound. Right? So that's the bridge pickup, that's the bridge pickup. And here's the neck. Cleans up pretty nicely. Yeah. So here's the sort of spanky thing, right? You know, so it's nice. I haven't reset it for the truss rod. It's got a double action truss rod too, which is kind of nice. I haven't reset it for the summer, which I usually do, but I haven't done that. So I'm not hearing a lot of buzz, but there might be a little bit of buzz because I haven't reset it for the summer. All right, let's play something with this. Let's play a little. Let's see about this one. Let's just see what we got here. I think this one sounds really nice. I agree. Okay, yeah. Now I need to know what. Okay, so this is C minor. Let's go over the chords on this one. We'll learn a little blues. this is a cool type of blues. For minor blues, one of the things that we love about the blues, I love about the blues, is it's totally simple, right? You can jump into the blues and start playing totally simple stuff, and you can get into the blues and start playing and really participate, and yet much more complicated stuff is out there just using that blues structure. And that's what's lovely about it. Because it's so simple, you can jazz it up, you can put in different chord changes and stuff like this. This one's a beautiful one. So this is a minor blues in C minor. And minor blues is really at its basic form where you just do a 1-4-5 in that. So we have C minor, F minor, G minor, and C minor. But that's not what happens here. What happens here is that we have this progression. So I've got a C minor, and then I'll play a B. B flat, A flat, and G. So it's sort of like Stray Cat Strut, isn't it? Sorry. It's like that, right? So that's kind of if you know a little bit about Romansh music, what used to be called gypsy music, and Middle Eastern music, there's something called a harmonic minor. And it's really just using that last chord there, because it has... It's that note. Makes it sound a little like exotic. Really cool. So it's got that. And then when it goes and does the change at the end, that's just the 1 and the 4. That's normal. So C minor to F minor, and then C minor, and then we'll put in the Hendrix chord there. Instead of playing the G minor, we'll play a G7. A G7, and in this case we're going to sharp the 9. G7 sharp 9. But you can hear that's the Hendrix chord. Right? Okay, so let's improvise a little bit to this. It's fun to improvise it because you can play just the standard minor pentatonic, but yeah, it's right. It's very similar to Since I've Been Loving You. You're right. You're absolutely right. But you can play the standard blues, but you don't have to. All right, I'm going to cut my mic for just a minute so you can hear the sound of this guitar over this back guitar. picture? All right, I think you get the picture. That bridge pickup is really bright on this thing. But you know, you got the tone knob and you can really dial it down. So if you want to tame it, and if you want to go to that the neck pickup, I like the neck pickup on this thing. I think it sounds great. All right, so there we go. There's guitar number 2. There's a guitar number 2. So the sound. So the interesting thing, folks, my personal opinion is that the wood, the whether it's in an ashtray or not, the neck material, the fretboard material, I don't think any of that matters. I think the pickups are almost all that matters, and strings that you use and how far you put the strings from the pickups. I think that's the main thing that makes the difference. That's 99% anyway. Well, and your fingers, obviously. But so you put good pickups on a Harley Benton, it's going to sound good. That's all there is to it. All right. But anyway, so that's that one. And I do like that guitar. And here's the third one. Anyway, that's just my opinion, folks. You don't have to buy into it. That one feels great. I got to tell you, that one feels great. They all feel really good, but they're different. That one has a thinner neck. So if you're used to playing Fender, that's probably the closest one to it. So this is the third one. This is a Tele by M Musi. And this thing, this is like a Super Tele, although the pickups here are pretty normal. This is made to look like one of those, was it Lindy Fralin pickups. These are stock though. This isn't anything special, but you'll see it has a good, these pickups I think sound really good. I did put in a new Wilkinson bridge. That's the only thing I did to modify it. The things that this has. So this is a very comfortable Tele. So it has the body cut right there. It has the tummy cut right there. It has a cut on the upper bout. So it's got, you know, really nice shape features for a modern Tele. It's fairly light. The other one was really super light. This is a Wilkinson bridge I put in, like I said. It's got the rotary adjustment for the truss. Roasted maple neck, but this I have to say, it's advertised as roasted maple, but it doesn't feel, it feels just like regular maple neck, I gotta say. Bone nut on this, it had a bone nut, and what do you call these? Locking tuners, thank you. Thank you, somebody from inside my brain. The only other feature that I would say here is, I don't know what it is that they do on these frets, but the fret ends are the most comfortable I've ever played. They're just amazingly comfortable. They're like rounded. They must use a machine to do this, and they're the best fret ends ever I've played. I mean, honestly, I've had super high-end guitars. You play them, and they don't have the fret ends that these do. So it must be some machine that they're using to do it. This is a nice guitar. So let's play it a little bit. Oh, I would say that the neck on this thing is kind of a shreddy neck. It's thin this way, and it's very wide. It's one of these compound radius, so it's like maybe 12 down here and 16 up here, and it's very wide. So this to me is, in some ways it's the easiest to play, and in some ways it's the hardest to play, right? So if you got to play all night and you're playing in a country band and most of you are playing rhythm, this isn't going to be the most comfortable. But if you're playing lead, it's pretty comfortable. All right, so let's hear how this sounds. Let me play semi-decent, yeah? That was terrible. So I think it sounds pretty good. I like that neck pickup a lot. Here's the bridge pickup. That's clean, and then if I put a little bit of dirt on it, that's just using the amp. So this doesn't dirt up as much, which is kind of nice. So that's the bridge pickup. And if I put more distortion on it. Thanks, man. Thanks, Keith. I do think about these things, you know. I pay attention to stuff, and yeah. Anyway, I've tried a lot of guitars, as everybody who follows me knows. And a lot of people think, and I do have a lot of guitars, but I don't have as many as people think I do, because the guitars come and go for me. I am hoping that that Telly that I just bought, the Fender, is going to be a keeper, but we'll see. It sounds really good, and I kind of like how it plays. I'm not usually a fan of Fenders, so... "39 Lazy Looky-Loos." What's that? I don't know what that means. Rizzler, I don't know. Oh, gotcha, Rizzler. Yeah, hit the like button, folks. All right, I just want to mention that, and Tall Paul said this before we do the next song, there is a guitar giveaway. I'm giving away one of these 3 guitars, this one, the red one, or that Silver Sparkle that we saw before. So let me demo this one, and, oh, I don't know, let's play another, Gonna Hurt Like Hell. Oh, let's try playing this one. This is nice. This is sort of like a slow, interesting chords blues. Interesting chords. Let's play it. We'll see if we can get the volume right. Yeah, this should do. All right, I'm going to cut my mic again so that you can hear the guitar a little bit better. Okay. Playing out of the... Oh. Let's play a different one to demonstrate this a little bit more, because that was overly saturated and I wasn't paying attention. So let me play something else. Okay, let me play this one. All right, this is a minor blues. This is a standard minor blues. See if I got the volume right. Come on, folks. All right, good. Okay, so I'll cut the mic. I'm going to play the bridge pickup first and then the neck pickup. I'm cutting the mic because when I don't, I can't hear myself in the studio here, and I could put the amp on standby and play blind, but then I don't know what it sounds like. So if I don't cut the mic, you're hearing the mic as well as the amp. So that's why I want to cut the mic, and you'll hear the sounds better. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to cut the mic now. I'll play first the bridge pickup, and then I'll move to the neck. All right, so I think you probably get the picture of this guitar. This is super comfortable. One last thing I'm going to point out, and before I move on, is that this has the Tele input switch that every Tele should have. it just is so much better than having that locking nut on there. And anyway, the input here, or the output, however you want to think about it, input output. How about that? Works great. Anyway, so that's number 3. And if you want to vote, you can go to my community page and vote. I have a poll going on here. But if you can also just leave a note in the description, which one did you think was best, and which one would you prefer to get? That would be great. So I am going to go back, however, to playing my Les Pauls. I've got a Les Paul here and my new Telly. Let's play a little new Telly. But we'll talk blues just a little bit more. This is kind of a long lesson-y sort of thing. We're getting a lot of lessons in today. So one of the things I really like about the blues, as I mentioned earlier, you bet, Tall Paul. Yeah, nice sky. I didn't cut out the mic completely. I just dropped it like 20 dB. So yeah. That's cool, Mary Beth. I like that. Cool. Little Peter Green. Yeah, all right. So the one with the comfortable rounded frets on the neck would be my pick. Yeah, all good stuff. It's all good stuff. And Mary Beth likes the Harley Benton Fusion. Cool. All right, well, one of the things that I love about the blues I was talking about is you can take something simple and you can make it a little more complicated and a little more sophisticated. And one of those ways to do that is Stormy Monday. Now, Stormy Monday is a song that's written by T-Bone Walker, one of the guys who is beginning electric guitar players. You know, Charlie Christian gets a lot of credit, and he should. But T-Bone Walker is a guy who, you know, all those things like the, you know, Chuck did it in a rock and roll sort of sound, but T-Bone had all those little bends, you know. He would play stuff like that, and you know, he would play all those little things, and yeah. So he was the one who wrote the song, and then Bobby Bland was the one who came up with the chord changes that we know today. They're very similar to the Almonds. Almonds changed it just a little bit, just a tiny bit, but it's really Bobby's changes to T-Bone's song. But what is that? So if we play it in C, I know everybody likes to play it in G, because that's what the Almonds did. But if we play it in C, we play the Stormy Monday changes in C. Clean this up just a little bit. We've got the standard blues to start out. It's just the blues, folks. So it's the 1 chord, the C. Quick change to the 4 chord, F. And when I say F, I'm talking about F dominant chords, right? So I'm playing a C7, I'm playing an F9. I could have played an F7. It's all good. It's all good. Now we go back to the 1 for 2 bars. Now to the 4 chord. It's all the same. This is just standard blues, folks. Okay, now we play 2 bars of that. Now it's in bar 7 that it starts getting a little bit interesting. We play half bar of C, and then D minor, D minor, E minor, and then we usually play E flat minor. And then we'll play D minor, to the G, 7. That's the 5 chord. So it's interesting, we walk to a 2, 5, 1. That's very jazzy to play a 2, 5, 1. So that's sometimes when you hear a little bit of an uptown sound in the blues, it's probably because whoever is doing this blues version or whoever wrote it is doing a 2-5 to get to the 1 chord again. And that happens a lot. That happened in the Tommy Castro song that we did before, Calling San Francisco, that I demoed the Silver Sparkle on. It happened in it. Every time you hear that sort of jazzy sound, you're like, I wonder if somebody did a 2-5-1 to get to that next chord. I'll show you what I mean. Like if I do the 2-5-1 to get to the 4 chord, it's an interesting thing there. So let's say I'm playing my 1. Okay, and now I want to do a 2-5 to get to the F chord, right? So it'd be did a 2-5 to get to that. Okay, so what did I do? A 2-5 is like a G minor, and then C, then to the F. It's pretending that the F is the 1 chord. So you see how all of a sudden it was something that was really simple. We just complicated it a little bit, but once you get used to that thinking, it's not that hard. Like it's just really adding stuff. But anyway, in the Stormy Monday blues, that's what happens. It goes, in the end, we do a 2-5, and then it goes back to the 1, and it's just the standard blues. There we go. So let me play a little Stormy Monday blues. And you know, the thing I love about this is that you can approach it in 2 different ways. You can approach it just like the blues and play, say, C minor pentatonic. I'm going to play it in C. You can play C minor pentatonic and it sounds good. But then when it gets to this point where it's going, sorry. You can't really play C minor pentatonic. You can go to a C major on that one, and it sounds good. So let me try that. There's lots of different ways you can play this. I mean, you know, it's all good. But let me just play Stormy Blues in C. See how loud it is. A little loud. Playing normal. Okay, now we'll really play scales. So I'll play minor pentatonic over the beginning part, I'll play major scale, and then back on minor pentatonic. All right, so here we go. Minor pentatonic time. Major scale now. Minor pentatonic. Yeah, the Allman Brothers is what's played here, right? It's playing the same thing. get the picture. But now, did you notice now, a couple of times at the end, I was really just playing chord by chord. And so instead of playing a scale over those changes, right? Instead of playing over the changes where you're going to the D minor, and then the E minor, and the E flat, and the D minor, I was just playing like... Right? I'm just playing the chords, right? E minor, E flat minor, D minor, to a G, and it went to a G. Back to a C. And then you can play a scale if you want. You can play a pentatonic, or a major scale, or what, whatever you want to do in that part. You can play scales or whatever. But it really helps playing those chords over there, and it sounds really good. It sounds like you're matching the sound. And and that's a typical jazz thing. You hear this line, hear that kind of stuff all the time when you're transitioning between the when you're transitioning between chords, you often hear that. If it's going E minor, E flat minor, G, C, you'll hear all those chords. You'll hear... Right? There you go. So, yeah. So, anyway, so that's that. And what's cool is that you can use that in a blues even if those chords aren't there, and it gives you that jazzy sound. Let me show you. I just love this trick. Here's one of my favorite blues tricks. I'm going to play the Stormy Monday changes even when they aren't there. So first, I'll prove that they aren't there. We'll just play the song, and you'll hear I'm just playing the changes to the song. And I'll try and count them out. Do I have my mic on? I hope. Yeah. Okay. C. C. F. C. G. C. That's it. So it's just a 1-4-5, right? There's no Stormy Monday here at all. But I'm going to pretend that there is. You'll check it out, man. It sounds cool. Okay, here we go. you go. And a lot of that is really just kind of getting it into your ear, right? And you could hear it. There's no E minor, there's no E flat minor in there, but you could hear that chord change sounded fine. You know, when I played, sounded fine, right? Anyway, and it really helps when you develop your ear and get it into there. But anyway, that's one of my favorite tricks. There's other tricks too, like throwing in a diminished when there's not a diminished there, that I messed up today earlier, but that's okay. It's all good. All right, so anyway, thanks, Dave. Thanks a lot, Dave. Really appreciate it. Okay, so I'm just gonna show y'all one last time. I won't play them, but I'll just show you all the guitars one last time. And I don't know why I undid this. I know why I undid it. Now I do. Okay, I know I undid it because I'm gonna put this back, and I think I'm gonna put this on the floor here for a second. And I want to be careful with that thing. Okay. So here are the three guitars, and we'll get them in order. So the first, actually maybe I'm doing them in reverse order. The number 3 was this one, Daphne Blue, M. Musi, roasted maple neck, but not dark roast maple neck. It's a rather wide neck and thin. So this is kind of a little bit of a shredder neck. Nice sounding pickups, I think. Wilkinson bridge, tummy cut, and all that kind of stuff. All right, so there's that. And then there's this, the Silver Sparkle Fusion. Humbucking pickups, double humbucking pickups, Wilkinson tremolo, roasted maple neck. Real good roast on this one. You can split the pickups to get single coil. Slight recess here to have upper action. Locking tuners. Good stuff. All right, so that's this one. Sparkly, very sparkly, this one. And then last and maybe least, this is a Harley Benton. It's not the bottom of the line telly, okay? They make a very bottom of the line telly. This is up from that. Roasted maple neck with the skunk stripe. Double binding on this one. Little bit sparkle, which you can see here. Updated electronics, updated pickup in the bridge, Wilkinson bridge edition, and there you go. This one has a very Fender-like neck. It does have a 12-inch radius so that you don't choke out on the bends. You can put the action a little bit lower than you can on a Fender. So there's that. Clouson style tuners. They're a good shape, though. They're good tuners. It's shocking to me. But anyway, that's number 3. So there you go. Those are the 3. And I'm going to put them back now because I'm just going to play a little bit. I'm not going to play those. They're nice, but I'm not going to play them today. I have a hankering to play some of my other stuff. This thing, I'm enjoying the sound of this, and playing. It doesn't. I've never been a fan of the playability of Fenders. I don't think that they're at least to me. I don't like their necks as well as a lot of other guitars. Maybe it's the radius. I don't know. But this one's really nice. This one's really nice. But I have to admit, I really like the sound of it. So I'm still getting used to playing it. The other thing I was going to show you, or tell you today, it's really interesting, I think this, is that this guitar is an Epiphone, okay? This is a very inexpensive guitar. I think I picked this up for $300 with a hard shell case. It's a 2002, made in Korea. And I changed the pickups on this one. These are Alnico 2 pickups. I didn't like the stock pickups at all. So I put in these, and they sound nice, but I was playing it, and just like, you know, it's got a bit of a chunkier neck, and I was playing it, and it just wasn't feeling good. And I put heavier strings on. I'm like, oh my God, this is like a totally new guitar. So I put on 9s because I was like, oh, you know, make them slinkier. I've got old fingers. And I put on 10s, and I know you can't hear this, but anyway, yeah. Night Sky, I'm not giving away the butterscotch one. That one's not in the running. So, for sure. That one is not in the running. So that one I just got. But anyway, it's interesting. I went up in gauge on this, and all of a sudden it became so much more playable to me. So, you know, maybe that's just the issue with a lot of these Fenders is I've been using really light gauge. Maybe I should put heavier gauge on this and see what I can do with it. Maybe it'll be better. It'll be harder to bend, but, you know, maybe it'll play so much better for me. I don't know. I don't know. All right, let's play a little bit. I'm just going to play a little bit now, and then we'll bid everyone adieu. We'll play a little bit of blues. Maybe play a little funky New Orleans thing here. How about that? Funky New Orleans thing. Yeah. If I can get the backing track up. Oh, there it is. Okay. I'll play this and I'll talk about what I'm doing on it. This isn't it, is it? I added it. So anyway, so that's just kind of like a little funky thing. All right, so I was going to explain what's going on. So on this one we have two parts to it. there's just a groove in E7. There's basically just a groove over an E7 chord. Oh, I lost my chat. Where's the chat? There it is. Okay. That's cool, Night Sky. There we go. So that's just it's just a vamp over like an E dominant chord. So it could be an E9. Yeah, it's true. Paul Reed Smith guitars are very friendly to play. They're very player friendly. That is definitely true. All right, so we're just kind of scratching on that E7 chord, but then it goes to a different set of chords, and you heard it. It's kind of like, it's kind of like, goes to that. So basically, we're going on that one an E minor. We're doing triads here. So I'm sorry, E minor, E major, I meant. E major to B major to A major. Now he probably played probably there's a major 7 that's going on. It sounded very jazzy, right? To this is basically a suspended A chord, suspended second A chord, right? We're putting that B in the bass of an A chord, which sounds really nice. So playing bluesy stuff over the E7 vamp, it sounds good, right? We can play E minor pentatonic if we want. Play that. We could play E Mixolydian mode. If we wanted, we could play E Dorian mode. If we wanted to, okay. We could just play that E minor pentatonic, E blues scale. Sausage fingers today. So there you go. You could play that. But over this part, you can't. Because it's going to be very clashy with the major sounds that are going on there. Right? We've got which is just an E major, a B major, and an A major, and then an A major with bass slash chord, and then a vamp on a minor, on a C sharp minor. If you just like minor pentatonic scales, you could go to a C sharp minor pentatonic scale and play that and pretend it's major. So that works. So now that I've told you the secret here, you can listen for it. And you'll listen for me switching. I'll tell you what, I'll just switch. I'll play E minor pentatonic or a blues scale over the vampy part. That's what I'll do. And then over the rest of the stuff, I'll start playing like C sharp minor pentatonic. Now, I'm really playing E major pentatonic because I'm resolving to an E, but you can think of it as the same shape, right? I'm just ending on a different note. I'm resolving to a different note, and you'll hear it. Okay, so that's what I'll do this time. Starts out with a vamp. Not playing very in the groove yet. minor again. Now back to the minor pentatonic. Back to the C sharp minor. E minor. All right. Okay, there you go. So sometimes it's just going major to minor, and that's all there is to it, right? So if you know that major to minor stuff, it really works. Or minor to major in this case. I guess it's going wrong. All right. Let's see what we've got here. Butterscotch Telly won't lay down. Looking forward to Thursday, part 2. Yeah, Daniel, I'm glad you enjoyed that. For members, if you're a member and you're not going to this Roots of Rock lecture series that I'm doing, lesson series that I'm doing this month, you're missing out. So it's recorded, and it's everybody has a chance. You can see it. You don't have to see it live. You can watch the lessons that are recorded. But every week I'm going to be going over the assignments, or not assignments, but what I've posted and recommended learnings. And you can ask any question that you want live. It was great. We had like 40 people in the last session. It was excellent. Thanks, Roland. I will. All right, I'm going to play something that's appropriate for this telly, and we'll try and put it through the ringers. I'm not using, I like using my volume knob on my Strat, but the telly is a little bit farther, but I'm going to be trying to use the volume swells and stuff like that. So we'll see, and I just want to say thanks to everybody for coming out today. Rizzler, yes, it's not only over Zoom. So if you're a member, it's recorded on Teachable, but then on Fridays, this week it's Thursday, but once a week, what I'm doing is I'm going over that, and those sessions are on Zoom, yes. Those sessions aren't, you don't have to download Zoom to your computer or anything like that. You can just use the link and it works. So if you do have Zoom, that's fine. Okay. So anyway, I want to thank everybody for coming by. Remind everybody who's not a member, if you want to support me, you want to be a member, that's the best way. But there's 15% off today in the membership, in the description below. You'll find that. It's 15% off any course. So if you want to take Visualize the Fretboard, that's cool. Practical Triads, that's cool too. Awesome. There will be a guitar giveaway for members. There's a membership drive coming up, part of the guitar giveaway. As you go through the video today, you can go back and you can see all the guitars that I'm thinking about and put in your vote for which one would you like to see given away. Which one would you like to receive if it were given to you? All right. No problem, Rizzler. Good to see you on. The two pictures appear straight, appear ahead, appear crooked. I have no idea what that means, Embry. Pictures ahead. Okay. Let's play. Where is it? Roads. There it is. Okay, yeah. All right, we're going to be using the bridge pickup a lot on this one, folks. Okay. I've got my compressor on, and we'll see. Yeah. Okay. I'll see you in a couple of weeks. If you remember, I'll see you hopefully on Thursday. We'll see you. And yeah, so thanks a lot for coming by today. I'm just going to play us out. And if you have any more questions, I might hang around. I still have some coffee left in here, so I might hang around. But I'm pretty tired. I got home like 2 a.m. last night and stayed up a little bit. I was all, hyped up for Marcus King, and my ears were still ringing. I wore ear protection, and it still, my ears were ringing. It was loud, let me tell you. Awesome, Pangaroo. If you can't, you can send in a question if you have one. All right. Anyway, I'll see you, and let me just show you what I think will be some telly sounds. I don't know. I think this is an A. I don't know. All right. I kind of like this. Thank you, Midnight Rambler. Thank you. Thank you. I just love that stuff. Ah, thank you, Chris. Really appreciate it. Thanks to everybody for coming on. And be well over the next week or two. And look for my videos. All right. Now I'm just going to hang out a little bit, folks. I'm just going to hang out. But I'm tired. Oh, I'm tired. I have to say, I'm digging the sound of that telly. I like it. I'm sure it wasn't that great because this mic is picking it up on that last one. But I'm liking the sound of that new telly. Those Nocaster pickups are really nice. Thank you, Sheltonus. Thank you. Thank you so much. Vernon, good to see you on. I don't know if anybody's still here. I haven't looked at the stats. I'm Ben and Chris is still. Wow, 53 people still on. Wow. That's good. If you're just joining, there's a lot in the beginning. So, including 3 guitars that I'm giving away. So you might want to check those out. And today was Blues Day, even though I ended on kind of a country blues. I was in a Marcus King mood. So, playing that stuff. I got to get my fingers ready for that Telecaster. I'm telling you, it really was feeling a little bit weird. Okay. Yeah, I got to chill for sure. I got to chill. Let my soul shine. Thanks, man. Thanks, Joe. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Oh, so I listened, by the way, I listened to Marcus King's new album. He has a new album, 2024. Keb Mo's got a new album out too. I like Keb Mo a lot. But neither of them is very bluesy. The Keb Mo album's very happy sort of stuff. Hi, Joe. Yeah, Joe, thanks for the Triad course. Yeah, it's for membership. So membership is that. Thank you, Joe. Joe McCarthy, thank you so much. Thanks so much, buddy. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. And I'm working on getting B&G to, if you let me know a guitar store that's maybe near you, even if you can't get to it, maybe I'll call B&G and see what they can do. So you can try one out. But you definitely want to try before you buy because they're expensive and they're different. It's a soft V-neck. So Joe Tadeo, first of all, thank you for buying the Triads course. I really appreciate it. I hope you're enjoying it. It isn't the same. The giveaway will be for membership, but you're in luck because you can roll over most of the price of that Triads course. And in fact, actually it'll be the whole price because you got it on sale. You can roll that into membership. There's a coupon code that I sent you. If you don't remember it, let me know if you want to sign up. And you can email me at this. I'm just going to put it in the chat. It's really easy. It's Ciao, Roland. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it all. Oh, Soldier Top Gretsch. Oh, no. Or, oh yes. I don't know what's appropriate. What did he play last night? Oh yeah, so back to Marcus King. So he played, it's the Mood Swings tour. So Mood Swings is his album from 2024. He played pretty much every song except my favorite song off that album. My favorite song is Delilah, but it's a very R&B sort of. It sounds like D'Angelo almost at times, like sort of like mid-2000s R&B sound. But he played pretty much every song on that album, including the one with the nasty word that I'm not going to say. But he had a good story that he told with that. It was fun. He was a good storyteller, just the right amount, not like over the top. It was good. And he played some old stuff. He played 8 a.m. He played a couple of things from Carolina Confessions. He didn't play Jealous Man or Rita Is Gone, two of my favorites of his, but he played stuff like that. And he played a Sabbath song at the end. I'm trying to remember which one it was. Doo doo, doo 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 in their masses, doo doo, doo 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 in their masses. That was the end of it, right? So what is that Black Sabbath song? I'm trying to remember. My gosh. I'm going to search it for a second. He played. What is it? Is it War Pigs? Yeah, War Pigs. I think he played to end it. Really, totally shocked everybody. That was his. That was his second encore. But he played like other things, like he played a Sam Cooke song um, as part of his encore. So it's just so eclectic. You know, he plays that hard edge stuff, and he played R&B, and then he played some blues, and he had a great band on there. He had, besides him, there was another guitarist. Yeah, War Pigs, and there was another guitarist who played all the slide. Incredible player, beautiful player. Um, I would say he sounded like Derek Trucks, but he didn't. He sounded like himself. He didn't play Derek Trucks lines or stuff like that. He just sounded really good, and it was really inventive. Excellent slide player. Bass, obviously. And he had a keyboard player. The keyboard was mic'd up. Oh my God, the sound guy totally ruined the keyboard sound. The keyboard player was really good, but every time he made the volume swell on that Hammond B3, it would just ruin the sound. It was just too much. It killed it. Too much top end. But good thing. And then he had a good drummer. He had a backup singer, and then he had three guys playing horn. One of those horn players also played percussion, so he'd double on like bongos and stuff. But he had sax, trombone, and trumpet. That, I mean, it was a whole full horn section. It was killer. It was just killer. Thank you, Wild and Free. Uh, do I have any other lessons? I did that one on Robbie Robertson. That was the only one that was specific for Robbie Robertson. I love his style too. There are some other things where I do pinch harmonics. You know, Billy Gibbons played a lot of pinch harmonics. So I have that kind of stuff. If you look for some Billy Gibbons stuff, you'll find maybe some. But Robbie Robertson's one of my favorite. That video didn't do very well, but that's the trade-off, right? Because I like doing stuff from the band. The band is one of my favorite bands, and love I hate what happened to the band. I mean, it's interesting because it was like so much lovey-dovey until it was like all fell apart. It instantly all fell apart, But um, that album, the Brown album, where King Harvest is from, is probably, I won't say it's my favorite, but my favorite album of all time, but it's one of them. So if I got to pick five, it would be one of the five. I can't rank within those five, but that's one of my favorite albums, the Brown album by the band. I love Robbie's style of play, and I just love Richard singing and Rick singing, and Levon singing too. I love Lee. They're all great singers. My favorite's probably Richard. I just love how he sings. He has this quaver in his voice. Well, same with Rick Danko, but he has this quaver in his voice that just like it's just such a vulnerability. And I'm welling up when I think of the songs that he sings. It's just so vulnerable when he sings. Perfect. Excellent. Mexican lottery strings. Oh my gosh. Those are like the super light ones. They're like sevens or something, right? Yeah. Uh, let's see. War Pigs, yeah. War Pigs, yeah. It was a cool thing. It was a cool thing. Now, Marcus played. I'll post. You know what? I'll post some of my photos on the community page. I'll post some photos. He played his 335. He played a Telly, and actually, it was probably an Esquire because it didn't have a neck pickup. It only had a bridge pickup. Oh man, his solo that he played on "Save Me," which is off his new album. If you listen to the song, there's no real. There's a tiny solo, and it's nice, but it's not anything anything big. It fits the song, right? But during there, he played just the most beautiful R&B Telly lines. He's just so good. He played a black Strat, and then he played this. It was a I don't know what it was. It had me stumped, which is rare. It was like a 335, but it had a much sharper horn. Maybe it was a Yamaha. Could have been a Yamaha, but it had a sharper horn. It was a little bit bigger. The body was a little bit bigger. Cherry sunburst. It was so effing loud I couldn't hear anything. Honestly, that guitar, they just had him turned up way too much, and so I was really happy when he got on the Strat, and then I could hear him again. And the Telly, I heard him perfectly, and then he played the 335 at the end. But perfect length show too. It was exactly at the point where it's like, okay, it ended. I'm like, yep, that was exactly the right amount. It's good stuff. Hey, Wild, yeah, no problem. I agree. Yeah, live version of "You Don't Know Me." No, I don't. I haven't heard that, but I'm gonna go check it out. Wild and Free. I'm definitely gonna go check it out for sure. Yeah, sure. So dislike or like offenders. So yeah, no problem. It's not the guitar. It's not the company. It has nothing to do with that. So I don't have any sort of grudge against Fender. It's just most of the time I play a Fender, it just the neck doesn't feel right to me. It feels too thin, and I always feel like I have to set the action really in a way. It's probably just the radius of the neck, but I feel like I have to set the action in a way to get good sound out of it. I have to set the action in a way that I'm kind of like feeling the other strings in a weird way. I think with um, a lot of that has to do with the fact that I grew up on Gibson scale. So I never had a Gibson when I was younger. Well, that's not true. I borrowed a bunch of money from my dad and paid him off $50 a week. I borrowed $500 from my dad and I paid him off $50 a week to get my 335. I got that when I was 16. I still have that guitar. I'm never going to get rid of that one. But that was a Gibson. And it was an interesting story too. I went to my dad was a funny guy. I'll tell you the story in a second. But anyway, before I get off on that tangent. So I think it's just I'm used to Gibson scale guitars and the necks of them. But this one's really nice. And for those of you who know, I have a Squire Strat that I love the neck on. And I don't know what it is about that. And this neck is very similar. So I have a feeling like if I need to make some adjustments to it. But I probably won't adjust the neck. The neck looks right, but maybe adjust the saddle height just a little bit. I got to make sure I don't fret out. But I'll probably get this to some place where I'll really like it. I feel it on this one. This one feels like I'm going to love it. I'm hopeful. I'm very hopeful on this one. Because I always want a Telly, right? And I've had so many people come up to me and say, well, you're not playing a Telly if you're not really playing a Telly, right? You have to be a Fender Telly. And by the way, G&L makes a great copy as well. But it's a copy, right? Well, it's not really a copy. Leo did it. But G&L made a great Telly. They call it the ASAT. And that's great. But it's so similar to the Fender. Anyway, I'm having a feeling that I will get this one. Or that I'll be keeping this one. This will be a keeper. I just have that feeling. It just feels really good. Like the body feels really good to me. And I really like it. I like holding it. And I have to tell you, the coolest headstock ever is the Fender Telly headstock. I just love the headstock on a Telly. It's my favorite. So that's that. Anyway, with my dad. So my dad was an inveterate cheapskate. And if you're charitable, he was frugal, right? Because he was a Depression era kid. Grew up in he was born in 1930. Grew up during the war years, the Depression and then the war years. And he was an older parent when I was born. He was 36 back then. Being 36, and that was when I was born when he was 36. Second family, so it was his second marriage. So, same with my mom. So they were both older. Anyway, my dad was a cheapskate, and so when I told him I wanted to buy this 335, he had to shop around for it. And we went to a guitar store, and he's like, "I bet we can do better than this." Well, he went to another guitar store, and he said, "I bet we can do better than this." He found an accordion store. I kid you not, Castiglione accordions. They're still around in Detroit. And he found they sold accordions. Accordions. And he talked to the guy and he said, "Yeah, we do guitars too." I just remember going in there and it was the old school sort of style. It was just a dusty warehouse. Stuff all over, and the metal racks, those metal racks that people had, and accordion parts all over the place. And here were these guitar cases. He pulled out this musty guitar case, and he said, "This is the one I've got for you. Wine red, dot. It's classic." And the case smelled funny, and which was really funny. But I picked up that guitar, and that's got a really chunky neck, by the way, which is another reason probably why I like Les Pauls and stuff like that more. Not super chunky, but I mean chunkier than any of the necks I played today. And that's where I got my 335 from an accordion shop in Detroit. There you go. That's it. Oh yeah, it's hard to tell. I'll show you. I'll see if I can show you again. So if you look really careful, there's no nut. There's no nut there. Okay? There we go. There's no nut. It doesn't recess. It doesn't come out. You just put it right in there, and it fits. So that's the difference. It's the modern input or output jacks. I don't know, but Robin 40 stuff. Yeah, okay, all right. I did there's a lesson that's called Larry's Blues, on a member site. If you go to songs or music, I think it's music and songs, and you go to the blues section. There's something called Larry's Blues Pangaroo, and if you go to there, it's kind of Robin 40. It's not quite as Robin 40 as Robin Ford, but it's Larry Carlton-y. So there you go. And by the way, it has that trick of playing a 2-5-1 that we talked about today, of playing a 2-5-1 in the blues. It has that trick in it that he often did. He would put in a 2-5 to get back to that one. He does that all the time. Let's play it on a Les Paul because it'll sound a little bit better, a little bit more like a Larry Carlton. It won't sound so trebly. Ugh. But is he in tune? That's the question. No. I haven't played this in a while. Out of tune. I bend like crazy, so I put guitars out of tune. Oh, there it is. All right. Yeah, what's weird was the A string was out of tune. That's not common. So let me see if I can remember this. It was like a blues in A, and so the 2-5-1 is going to be a B minor to to a D going back to the 1, right? So I think that's what it was. But you know, that's how it goes. Usually you're heading to another 2/5 to go to that. But anyway, I don't know why it was. Oh, maybe that's it. Yeah, that's. That was it, right? Okay, so that. So if you're going to the 3, you're going to a 2/5. Let's say you're playing. Let's see if we can get this a little bit. Play a close-up. Put the close-up back on. Yeah, there we go. Suppose you're playing a 2/5. Let's say you're playing a blues in A, right? So these Les Pauls don't clean up the same way as the Fenders do, right? All right, if you're playing a blues in A, you've got A as your 1 chord. You've got as your 4 chord a D, right? And your 5 chords an E. I'm playing all dominant 7s, right? And you know, on the turnaround, you can play, it's usually a 1, 4, and 1, and 5. But sometimes, you know, when it goes to that 5 chord for the first time, instead of going to the 5 chord, what a jazz guy will do is they'll go to the 4, they'll go to the 2 instead of the 5. They'll go to the 2, then they'll go to the 5, and then they'll go to the 1. So check it out. It'll be sort of like this. Let me just play the chords first. Let me just go into a lighter input. There we go. That's a little better. Yeah, just a second, Rizzler. So, all right, so suppose, let's play the chords to that now. So we have, so if we play it like that, instead of going to the 5 chord when we usually do, right? So we go to the 4, then back to the 1, and then instead of going to the 5, we go 2, and then the 5, and then we do a regular turnaround. Okay, so when we go to that 2, and then to the 5, you can anticipate going to the 2 by doing the Stormy Monday changes, by playing. So you play the 3, the flat 3, and then the 2 to get to it, which is interesting. You just basically play the Stormy Monday changes. Go, right? So when you play that on an arpeggio, you play, sorry. And that works. And you can play that anywhere you want. Like in this case, we're playing C sharp minor, C minor, B minor. So so if I did that, it would kind of be like this. No, you don't play the 2 as a dominant. You play it as a minor. You play it as a minor. Yep, 2 as a minor. Oh, yeah, you got it. Okay. So there's a question. All right, Night Sky, thanks for coming on. All right. So Rizzler, older mentors have developed arthritis and fretting hand. Okay, while younger, rich tendonitis. Yeah. So with younger people, it's what I find is that people overdo it, and that's what I find with myself. Whenever I've injured myself, it's because I haven't spent enough time warming up, and I played too long, and I tried too hard to bend and just did it over and over and over, and that's usually what it was. It's repetitive stuff, and that's the same thing that's done in younger players as well. With arthritis, you have to take your time. I mean, some people do take like some pain pills beforehand, but I don't recommend that or anything. I don't recommend playing through, too much through the pain though. So if it hurts, if it really hurts, you got to stop. You got to stop. But here's one tip: just don't stretch as much. I don't mean stretch before you play. I mean, don't play chords that are going to hurt yourself. And so, case in point, here's an example of a chord that I used to play quite a bit. Need to have it clean. You play it clean. Oh, I see why I was doing that. All right. So I used to play this chord quite a bit, and you can see it's spread. It's not crazy spread, but I don't play it much anymore just because I don't want to hurt my hands, and it does hurt my hand to play stuff like that. So, a lot of people would say build up stamina by doing it and this and that. I don't have time for that, right? When I was younger, I had no problem. I could do it, but now I can't. So instead, focus on simplifying progressions that you're playing over, and then playing simplified versions of the chords. So what I mean by that is, when I see an A7, I don't feel compelled to play all 6 strings. I might play only 3 of those strings. I might play that. And it's much easier to do this than I'm not playing a bar. I'm not trying to hold it and wrench it in. I'm not pushing down very hard. I'm just playing those 3 strings. Something's out again. Yeah, sounds okay. Yeah, anyway. So you don't have to play the whole chord. You got a bassist, you got a keyboard player, you got other people who are playing. And when you play all those notes, especially if you play with other people in a band, they have to compete with that now. You're just filling up so much space. So to me, I've always found it's best to play this. And the happy coincidence is that it hurts your hands a lot less. I can do the same thing with this chord. This is actually a pretty easy to play chord, but I don't have to play the whole thing. I could just play this. Right? And even with this, I can just play this. These 2 notes. And these 2 notes give the essence of what's going on. And you can do little doodads with them too, so it's kind of good. The interesting thing is once you commit to doing that, playing smaller chords and only pieces of chords, you actually learn a lot theory-wise, because you start to see how all these things are made up and what the true essence is of what's going on. And all of a sudden, really complicated scores, like I can look at most jazz scores now and understand them like that, because I just look at them and I don't see all those weird extensions anymore. I'm like, oh, okay, I see this, I see that, and I can play, I can hang. I'm not a jazz player, so I'm not going to claim that I'm a great jazz player or anything like that, but I can hang with them now by simplifying things. And a lot of it is just because my hands hurt. I did it before. There's other tricks. I have a video out there year and a half ago that I did about stopping hand pain on the boogie woogie. You know, like this. I had a video out on that. I used to have to play that sort of stuff all night, you know, playing Georgia Satellites, playing old time rock and roll, playing Chuck Berry. You're playing that stuff all night and playing Walk This Way. This kind of stuff hurts you, right? That's a big stretch. So the first trick is use your second finger, but that still hurts. So the third trick is to not use either, but to learn how to block strings and play on 3 strings instead of 2. And that actually works really well because your hand doesn't hurt at all. So you can see what I'm doing here is I'm using my second finger to play the A, to play the 5, I'm using my pinky, and to play the 6, I jump up to the D string and play it there. I play it with my first finger. That hurts not at all. I mean, this hurts a little bit. This hurts a lot. You know, that hurts. So I don't do it anymore. I still do it, but I do it in measure. If I have to do it a lot, I'm using this trick. Now, having said that, I'm a fan of these spread triad chords too, which are kind of interesting. You know, that kind of stuff. But maybe I have to rethink it, you know. They're kind of hard to play, so it's not good to do them too much for me. I like how they sound. I always love how they sound. That one's easy, but man, that one's hard. Not as hard once you get up here. It's doable. Oh, all right. I think I'm going to get something to eat. I was going to go fishing today, but man, it is so cold out there in Ithaca land. I love that Epiphone. I got to tell you, I love that Epiphone. I use that playing out. Hey, by the way, I have a gig coming up. I'm playing out at a wedding. It's not a real wedding, though. It's a pretend wedding. It's called The Wedding Show, which is weird. People go and they participate. Why didn't I use my pinky? I don't know what riff. I don't know. All right. Like the telly. Yeah, it's a nice telly. Okay. I'll see you folks. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. And thanks a lot for joining today. Really appreciate it. And yeah. If you want to join, it's below. All right. Take care. We'll see you. Bye. Woo. 100 plus. See ya. Thanks.